Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back if you're a subscriber. I'm really excited about today's craft and not just excited about the craft itself, but also excited about what I learned about organization. What? I know it's super strange. Today we're going to be tackling a project that addresses desk clutter. I know it's universal. Everybody has a little bit of clutter in their lives, but creative people maybe a little bit more. And I need to do some organization, but I also don't need to go to the store and start spending money on all kinds of fun organizers because I'm trying to curb my spending. And let's be honest, I can't go to the dollar store without spending 50 bucks. So, no spend. We're going to create this out of a cardboard box. It's going to be fun. And we're going to talk about the science behind creativity and messiness. Which one's better? Which one's worse? Are we going to solve any of these problems today? Maybe not, but we're going to come out with a really cool organizer. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so for this project, you're gonna need a recycled cardboard box. Let's not pretend that you don't have deliveries almost every day like I do. And then you're gonna need the basics like scissors, a craft knife, and I used hot glue as well as some paper tape to cover up the seams. Now, you can go crazy on the decoration of this. Usually cardboard's very easy to paint, to put paper on, all kinds of fun options there. Today, I'm going to attempt to use some spray paint. That's an acrylic spray paint that I bought at a store called Lidl. We'll see. We're going to see how that goes. All with the thought that I'm going to organize my card supplies, including my stamps, which I have not a lot of, but I like to have them a little bit more organized. And especially because the kiddo loves to stamp things. So I want to make that more accessible to him. Now, the basics of this really is you deconstruct the box just to reconstruct it again. You can see that I'm deconstructing it to make sides kind of like wings. And those wings get turned into the sides of the box. Now, when you're thinking about what you want to organize, that's when you want to break out the ruler and make sure that you have the space that you need for all of your little compartments. And I just created 3 simple compartments in the front, and then I just had a larger compartment on the top so that I can just stow away some other things that aren't easy to organize, some of the bulkier things. Now, once you have your general shape, it's really up to you if you want to cover up the raw edges. Now, I did because I felt like it would allow me to have a better painting surface on it. And so I went ahead and covered it up with paper tape. And you can find this actually at the dollar store. It's very easy to put on and take off if you messed up. And that will make it easier to paint over and not get like gloopy messes in the seams. Okay, so let's talk about the messy genius theory. Research actually backs this up to a degree. A groundbreaking 2013 study by Kathleen Vohs and a bunch of colleagues at the University of Minnesota found that individuals in messy rooms generated significantly more creative, unconventional ideas compared to tidy rooms. Why did they find that? Well, the hypothesis is fascinating. A disordered environment can implicitly prime an attitude of breaking with tradition. When things aren't like perfectly aligned, your brain has to come up with different ideas in order to get around obstacles. But what I find very interesting about this is that it encourages you to make connections and take more risks with your ideas. And because you're doing that, it's okay to think outside of the box because there is no box. I mean, yeah, okay, this is starting to make sense for me. And they also say that for some, letting those ideas along with the clutter kind of slosh around leads to spontaneous exploration and feeling a flow rather than a rigid adherence to framework. It creates mental space for your thoughts to roam and collide, often leading to those unexpected breakthroughs that we call eureka moments. All right, so we've got lots of points for the messy creative here. And here we go with trying out the spray paint that I bought at Lidl. It says it's acrylic. It really doesn't say much else. And I'm giving it a shot. I'm going to do it outside, even though it's not supposed to be like super caustic like regular spray paint. But here we go. I was hopeful that this was actually going to give me enough coverage to just leave it at that color. But now I'm starting to realize that it really wasn't enough coverage. And it also glooped up in certain areas and sort of streaked in certain areas. So now I got to get really creative and think about some sort of distracting pattern that we can put over it. Ah, distracting patterns, you say. So I actually recently went to the thrift store and I found this awesome tub of shape sponge brushes, I guess you would call them. And they have all kinds of different shapes. And I thought, you know what? I bet I can use some of those shapes to make a really kind of cool contemporary pattern on this desk organizer. So let's give it a shot. You know, there's a lot of people, and I'm sure I'm talking to a few of them right now, that feel that they cannot create until their space is cleaned up and everything's properly put away. So then let's talk about the benefits of organization and not being a total mess like me. A tidy environment offers its own powerful benefits for creativity. For many, a tidy, uncluttered space fosters a sense of calm and clarity. This reduction in extreme noise allows for deeper focus, something I'm short on sometimes, which is absolutely essential for tasks requiring sustained thought, problem solving, and the meticulous refinement of those ideas. Okay, so what I'm hearing is messy can create cool ideas, and being orderly can help you execute on those ideas, make them come to life, which makes sense because while I get a lot of ideas, if I can't find all of the supplies that I'm looking for, I might give up. Or I get halfway through, run out of supplies, and then I give up. So this is starting to make more sense to me. How about you? What's your creative space like? Are you a little bit more on the messy side like me, or are you a little bit more organized? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. And once all of that is dry, you have this. I actually am surprised how much I love this. I have my pens that I can use. I have extra envelopes. I have my stamp pads. I have my acrylic stamps right here. And on the inside, I have bunch of different finished cards that I've made and some blank cards. So, oh my gosh, this is the perfect little stamp organizer. And of course, you can use it for all kinds of things to organize. I spent $0 on this. And I'm very proud of myself for being able to pull it back and make a cool design from that acrylic spray paint accident that I had. So, if you like stuff like this, I highly recommend that you like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.